What is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. Banks, coming at you live with another back-to-back bangers that we hit today on Tesla and SPY. And I'm going to show you why we took calls and how we knew that this thing was going to melt up, or knew that the higher probability was that it was going to melt up versus keep trying to take puts. And we grabbed your liquidity today if you went short. RIP, Kimosabi, I am sorry. But hit that retweet and like or subscribe so you don't miss any of this educational content I put out on a daily basis to make you a profitable trader. Now, guys, RIP to you if you try to go short today. Do not short a slow melting market. Don't short a slow melting market, guys. It's going to get you killed more times than not. Yes, there's that off time where the slow melt does get a rug pull. More times than not, though, slow melts are something that you should, if you didn't take calls at the bottom, or at a good entry, probably should just leave it alone and let it melt up until price action proceeds to the next stage, whether we get a reject or we get a bounce. So how do we know to take calls? Now, again, these are no hindsight trades. We took Tesla calls at open, rode those up for 150%. And then we took SPY. And as you guys can see right here, I think we get a squeeze while everyone shorts. Dun, 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 dun. How did I know this? Well, first thing to know is market structure. What is going on? What happened yesterday? What has been going on since the bounce? Well, we know we have a big range, right? So one thing to keep in mind is we know we have this range that we created. Lows, highs, right? We pretty much created this massive range here, and I'll go ahead and just throw this. We created this massive range. 531 was that gap fill. So let me show you guys on this 4-hour time frame. 531.25, 531 was that gap fill. Great. We know from the bottom that was the gap fill we needed to fill. So what happened yesterday is going to be very important. What happened yesterday? We back tested the gap fill, right? And we held. Great. So what is this showing me? It's showing that we broke market structure. We broke out of the range. We back tested it. We held. We opened up higher today. So that's telling me, and especially with the slow melt up, that we're more likely going to get a squeeze and we're going to keep pushing higher to that next supply. Now, it may just because I have 11 years of experience under my belt, I can read this price action a little bit better than most. But from a technical standpoint, right, we broke out of the range. There's the range. The gap fill was the top. We broke out of it. We back tested yesterday. We created a higher low today, and we're just melting up after that, right? We melted up after yesterday's high, melts, melts, melt, and that's where you need to leave your bias at the window, at the door, at the gate. I don't know the expression, but to leave your bias somewhere else because we play the chart, right? You want to play the chart. I saw so many people get killed today trying to get short when it was calls all day long, right? And it wasn't a guess. It's right in front of you guys. If you just watch what price action is going on, and granted, I don't get it right 100% of the time, but I do a damn good job getting it right over 90% of the time. Just watch the price action in front of you. What happened? We broke the structure. We broke out of the range. We're creating a highs, right? Higher lows. And then we broke out of yesterday's high. Did we not back test that high? Nice flag out. And then we just kind of zoomed all the way up. And if you look a step back, what did we just do today? We straight just trended up. So we have a slow melt up. We have a trending stock to the upside. We have, what would you know? A slow melt up. So guys, slow melt up. We know that the rest of the market, right? One thing to keep in mind too is seeing the rest of the market. What is going on with the rest of the market? Apple pushing, Microsoft pushing, Tesla pushing, Amazon pushing. Google got bad news. They're pushing up all day though. Nvidia running up a storm. So we know that the market is pushing up. We keep trying to short SPY. Why? Why? We broke out of the range. We showed you yesterday that we wanted to hold above that range. We retested it. We couldn't break below. We pushed higher. We retested the highs of the most recent highs, which was yesterday, and we just trended up, right? Is it not silly to try to call the top here when the entire market is pushing up, when we're just getting a slow melt up, when we're trending up, right? These slow melt up days, these trending days, watching the market also just slowly push up. Don't try to time the top, guys. It was just calls. So we took calls, grabbed 80%, went over 100% at the very end there. But you can see we're just trending up. And if you guys can't recognize these higher highs, higher lows, or this trend, one thing you can easily do is put on, you can put on the 13, you can put on the 9, let's go on the 8. You can use the 8, 9, 13, and even the 21 if you like as your ultimate holding. I mean, look at to a T, guys, to a mother effing T. 8, 9, 13, and then 21 as like your biggest backs up on a trend. I mean, to the penny, right? So if you don't understand, you can use these EMAs, and if you can follow it up, we get back tests into them. We're holding, we push higher, back test, holding, push higher, 10-minute, 5-minute, 15-minute, right? They all work relatively the same. You can see all we did was this trending higher. So again, the 8, 9, 8 or 9 is interchangeable, 13 and 21 as your back test, as you guys can see here, as your final one to hold that trend. Last line of defense, you're just trending up. So again, biggest thing I want you guys to take out of this is do not short a slow melting market, especially when the entire market is melting up and pushing higher. I mean, Meta went absolutely nuts today. We look, we can see at 531 gap fill, we retested yesterday. Let me take this off. We retested yesterday. And yes, I have a lot of lines. Get over it. I'll clean it up later. But we retested yesterday. We held, we're pushing higher, we're breaking above highs, and we're just squeezing higher, right? So understanding this type of price action, understanding to not try to call the top when everything is slowly melting up. Just ride the wave, right? Guys, ride the trend. It's going to be your best friend. We still have this nice little supply up here as well. And if we push above that, I mean, we even have possibly in a 550 to 553 all the way up here, right? We have some imbalances to fill. We have some supplies to fill to the top that we can easily get to. So just keep that in mind, right? It's not just automatically, oh, we're in a bear flag. Oh, it looks kind of weak there. Let's just go short. Think like an MM. Where would this ultimate retest be? Probably in a 548 into this daily trend line, right? If you look at the daily trend line, we can see ba, 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 bum, bum. Get it all the way to the top. Look into 548 area, right? Look into that 548 area. Looking for that back test in that trend line. 548 and the 550 would definitely be that area where I would finally look to get short if we see any weakness once we push up there for future reference if you're going to trade SPY. Now on the Tesla, it's going to be very similar. As you guys know, if you watch my videos, same back test into demand, right? Back test into demand. That's all it is, guys. We created this big balance, nice little manipulation, wick off, push the highs. But what do we do? Zoom out, look left, take a deep breath, relax. You're going to get this. All we did was come back into demand. We're holding and we're kind of just pushing up. Great. So we know on the daily time frame, right? That top down approach. Look at the higher time frames, go down to the lowers for your entries. Watch my last video if you missed it. What I was seeing today was, what I was seeing at the overall picture was kind of creating higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. So while the trend was down, we know we're kind of just balancing out. We're not just balancing out. And this is where trend lines come important. Obviously, they're trend lines, so they're good to use during trends. But, you know, especially on like a 4-hour, hourly, or daily, we're going to get back tests into them until they break, right? So this bearish trend can easily reject here and head lower, or we can break out. We could see that I have on the 4-hour, we have this nice little bearish trend. We have a downward trend. So PT today was at 208 area. Let's go into the smaller time frames now. Uh, what am I seeing? What's important about this price action? Well, once we hit those lows, right, creating a higher low like we talked about, but what's happening with the most recent price action? Well, we know that it's always a story between buyers and sellers. Don't overcomplicate this. It's just a story between buyers and sellers. That's all it is. So what are we seeing here? Sellers try to take us down. We pushed up. Sellers try to take us down. Try to take us down. So we can see sellers keep trying to take us down. We can't do it. We keep putting in higher lows. And then this is the most important part. Here open, we have pre-market low. We're creating a higher low, right? From these lows right here. You try to push this down. What happens? That pre-market low holds nice fat wick and body starting to squeeze to the upside. Um, just picture perfect of that risk reward now to the upside. Why is that risk reward now to the upside? Well, like I just talked about, we're creating higher lows here. We already know we're in a big demand. Market's pushing up. And the most recent price action we can see, sellers try to take us down, couldn't do it. Sellers try to take us down, couldn't do it. Right. And go on a 10-minute or 5-minute, we can see this more clear as day is most recent intraday action. As these sellers keep trying to take us down, we can't do it. And then today, try to take us down at open. We hold pre-market low. That's where liftoff happens. And that's how we caught for 150%. And again, those price target for that 208 I had was on this nice downward trend. Again, guys, these are no hindsight trades. These are actual trades taken in the Discord with the team. If you guys want to join, I would love to see you in here. Congrats to everybody for absolutely banking on the day. If you want to learn how to do this, you know where to find me. If not, comment below. I'll go ahead and be happy to answer any of your questions. My name is Mr. Banks, guys. Again, take it one trade at a time. You got this. I believe in you. We're all gonna make it. All right, guys. I'll see you next time. Much love. Have an amazing day. CPI tomorrow. I'll see you then.